Hello, bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Girl Against the Universe by Paula Stokes. This is a book that had been on my TBR since it came out last year, and I had heard really good things about it, but I kept putting it off. I decided to read this book last week during Diversathon because it follows a main character who is suffering with a couple of different disorders. The main character has mental illness, which falls into the diverse books category. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this book is about. As I said, I really wanted to start doing some more reviews on my channel for certain books, and this book just really spoke to me, so I really wanted to talk about it and to really just share my love of it with other people, because this is probably one of the most relatable books that I've ever read in my life, and I just feel really strongly about it, so I just really wanted to share it with other people. So Girl Against the Universe follows a girl named McGuire. McGuire believes that she is extremely unlucky. When she was younger, she was in the car with her father, her uncle, and her brother, and they got into a bad accident and everybody died except for her. That in itself is extremely traumatizing, but since then there have been other instances of things that have happened around her, so she has kind of convinced herself that she is bad luck, and she spends most of her time in her room reading, just avoiding other people because she doesn't want to hurt anyone. She really thinks that she's the cause of all of these bad things that are happening, that she's just bad luck. She starts going to her mom, after one last incident, her mom and her move to a new town to kind of start over, and she starts seeing this therapist named Dr. Leeds, and the book is really about her journey with mental illness. And one of the things that I really love about this book is that while there is a romance aspect to it, and it is an adorable romance, it is not girl with mental illness meets boy and then suddenly everything is fixed. It's really girl with mental illness is going to therapy and she is choosing to try to work through some of her issues, but she's still hitting major roadblocks along the way. It's not like she met this guy and now she's saved. Everything that she's doing in her own time. And there are things that she's not comfortable with when they come up, and she says that she doesn't get pressured into doing anything. She's really making all of her decisions for herself. So I felt like this was completely relatable, because while I do not think that I am bad luck and that I bring bad luck to other people, I cannot help reading news stories about it's the terrible things that happen in New York City. I honestly get very scared walking around knowing certain things that have happened, and it's something that I think about constantly, what could happen if I go certain places and how it is safer to just go home and to spend time at home where I know that it's safe. So it was really nice to read from a main character's perspective who had the same kinds of feelings as me. It was very inspiring, and it was also really interesting to see the process that Dr. Leeds helps her go through to try to help her, and it kind of made me want to maybe try some of the things that had been suggested. I don't want to get into what they were because you'll read it if you read the book. But there were some things that McGuire does to try to push herself and try to get out of her comfort zone. And one of those first things is, you can tell from the front cover, is playing tennis. So she really she finds something else that she enjoys, and she finds a way to kind of channel the different feelings that she has. And tennis ends up being a really good thing for her. At the therapist's office, there is a guy that McGuire sees every week who has an appointment right after she has her appointment. One day while she's waiting in the waiting room for her mom to come up, the boy finishes his appointment and he goes over to talk to her. She has no idea who he is or anything, and she kind of brushes him off, and she's sorry, I'm not just gonna hang out with some stranger. And then he ends up being kind of a niche celebrity in a certain field, and for him, it is extremely refreshing to meet someone who doesn't know who he is, who's not trying to use him for his fame or what kind of parties he can get into. So he really wants to spend time with this person where he can be his real self instead of the self that he portrays in the media. So just the two of them starting to hang out, and their relationship together I really, really loved. And I also think that it's important to note that Jordy, who is the guy in the book, he is also going to therapy, obviously, so he is also struggling with certain issues. And it's just about these two people that both have these problems in their lives but are working through them, and the two of them end up helping each other through certain things. But again, it's their things are not magically fixed because there's this romance. There are things that they're both working through personally, and that they can relate to each other, so it's nice to have someone to talk to about it. I just loved it so much. I cared about these characters so much, and I think the fact that I was able to see so much of myself in McGuire while I was reading definitely made my experience like so good. I just never thought that I could relate to someone the way that I related to her. I just never thought that I would see that, and it was really refreshing, and it was really like, it was the best. It was really the best. So that's why like I felt so compelled to talk about this and to share it with other people. I want to say this book had like 2,000-ish ratings on Goodreads, so it's not something that has like a ton of reviews, but the average is above 4 stars. So that just shows that like I'm not the only person that probably felt this way, and that also probably cared about these characters. There are also really great secondary characters that McGuire becomes friends with. There's also a like fantastic family aspect to the story. And I just like the whole thing was just so great. Like there's nothing else that I could say. Like I cannot recommend it enough. If you're looking for a book for the next Diversathon, if you're looking to just read more diversely in general and you want to read something about a mental illness, this would by far be my top recommendation. I really, really, really love it. I obviously gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This is definitely one that I'm going to be talking about for like years to come. And I can definitely see myself rereading this one like anytime that I'm feeling like particularly scared about things, I guess is a good way to explain it. So it was just really, I felt like this was really helpful, and this book just means so much to me. So I really hope that you will read it. And I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. If you have read it, let me know your thoughts about it. And if you haven't, please do. And then you can come back and let me know your thoughts about it, or tell me if I've gotten you excited for it, which is my goal in making this review, because it just really was so good. So that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!